As the world becomes overrun by technology, teams of young engineers learn that there is more than one way to solve a problem. With only 6 weeks, students are challenged to design, build, and program the best robots suited to complete vigorous tasks. First Robotics encourages students around the globe to push their imaginative boundaries while combining the excitement of sport with the rigors of science and technology.
Second, don't you tell me what you think that I can be. I'm the one at the sail, I'm the master of my CEO. Ooh, the master of my CEO. Ooh.
These aren't just robots. These are engineers actively working to advance life for future generations. So grab your tools and team, ready your alliance, and prepare for liftoff in
3, 2, 1, go!
This isn't a robot. It very well may have hydraulic arms, a drivetrain, and a circuit board, but this isn't a robot. This is a lesson in humility, hard work, and collaboration. This is a CrossFit workout for the muscle upstairs. This is an apple for the next generation of Newtons. It's a lot of things, but this isn't a robot. This is a roadmap that leads straight to engineering. This is a rock to shatter 1,000 glass ceilings, a rope to pull a generation up and out of poverty, a sledgehammer to break down cultural barriers, and a universal language spoken in every nation on Earth. And because of that, this is a compass that can help point the way to peace. But please, don't think this is just a robot. This is Glastonbury for technology. This is mission control for the next moonshot. This is the Rosetta Stone to help translate the future. This is the sport that will help us win tomorrow. This is the software to program ourselves to cure cancer, build a clean engine, or step foot on Mars. But this isn't a robot. It's a machine to build the people who will change the world.
I am a mentor. I am your captain.
I'm an alumni.
I'm an engineer.
I'm an engineer from Bayshore High School.
And this is Mechanical Marauders.
Bayshore Robotics,
Team 271.
Welcome to the first robotics competition and the 2017 game, First Steamworks! 2 adventurer clubs, alliances of 3 teams each, prepare for a long-distance airship race by collecting fuel to build steam pressure, installing gears to engage rotors, and climbing aboard for liftoff. The airship best prepared for flight when the launch timer reaches 0 wins.
First is more than robots, right? Much more. We help people out, right? Gracious professionalism, that type of thing, right?
Kickoff is completely my favorite. Everyone is super duper excited. It is so nice. Like, it is one of the best feelings ever. Just the second they start talking about this year's game, it's so amazing. Everyone's super hyped and it's just awesome.
Team 271, 11.
The first time I was involved with robotics, my son was a freshman joining a club. And I was actually working at the time. He had a competition, an off-season competition, and I went to go check out to see what he's doing, like you do with any of your kids' activities. I kind of got sandbagged. They had a problem, which I don't really think to this day they really had a problem, but I think they were just trying to suck me in. And I kind of looked at what they were doing. I'm like, no, that's not how you do that. And there's a much better way to do it. And they were like, well, then you do it. And I got in there and I fixed their problem. And next thing you know, that was it. I was hooked. The person you're building for doesn't care, you know, if you got problems. They want this stuff done on time. Okay.
Are we gonna have like a schedule?
What?
Are we gonna have like a schedule like of when we go every day? Like
Well, I'll give you the schedule right now. It starts today and it ends in 6.5 weeks, 7 days a week. We're not joking when we say 7 days a week. We're here 7 days a week.
That's the size that your robot can be, and that's the size that your robot can be when everything's all sticking out of it.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, better idea. Keep it all together, right? And just say, okay, let's find this part, and then everyone look for the part. When you find it, check off we have it.
We get up to 40 KPA in a qualifying match. We get what's called a ranking point. And ranking points are how they seed you during qualifiers. The top 8 teams with the most ranking points get to choose their alliances. So when we start making our strategies, we want to think about 2 things. One, how can we score enough points that we can win matches? Because winning matches wins us playoff games, and every win we get is 2 ranking points.
You can do unlimited minis.
So we build around three to 4 robots probably in total, including a prototype actual robot practice bot, some other thing that we probably threw in there somehow.
Everything else was unlimited.
The mini sims are unlimited.
Is the weight limit still 120?
Yep.
It's a small robot though.
Oh yeah, you should have, well, you'd like to think you'd have a hard time getting over 120 at that size.
Yeah.
I think the best part about being 271 is, I guess, the opportunities they give us. We have a lot of benefits through the machines we can use. We have a full machine shop in our arsenal to use to, build our complete robot from. We basically make everything in-house, so it gives us an opportunity to really make parts that real engineers would be making in the field rather than sending it out like a lot of teams do to machine shops. Although, the quality might not be as perfect, but I think it really comes together to make a better experience for a lot of the other kids.
Ta-da. Program's not using the joystick.
This is the herder for this game piece.
Oh, it seems a little flimsy there.
Thing sticking out, so it would probably be that we would. I am not as available.
I'll give you both, and you can pick whichever one you want.
Well, we're not through the first week yet, but we are still prototyping different aspects of the robot, the shooting, the herding. The drivetrain, I think, is pretty well determined already, but we're still trying to figure out how we want to direction the shooter. Cut it on an angle, and then you go back and you trim it straight afterwards.
I don't remember. Oh, I know. Go get the sim. Go get a sim from that box behind you. Get this in.
This?
So hold on, listen. So there's a hole here.
Yeah.
Line that up with this hole. Just make sure it's close. You don't actually have to line it up, except you're not even close to center.
There's always going to be machinists needed no matter what. And it's a great skill to use. And I have a lot of friends that didn't do any robotics or anything like this that are going to mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. They're learning how to mill stuff like a little box, and I did that when I was in 9th grade. I could do that blindfolded now.
Keep going. Right there. So take off half of this hub.
I'm working on the bumpers for our prototype robot.
Prototype piece.
They're the structure that makes the robot a square. Right? You put it on the front and the back, you connect them to the base plates, and then they become our actual robot. These are the most essential parts other than the base plates themselves.
Have a good one, Ryan. Thanks for the help.
Oh,
this doesn't go anything. This goes to the sims, right? So this transfers the sim power to the center.
And this one will go here, and this one will go there.
Yeah, transfers to the sims.
I
Otherwise, you're going to forget. You're going to look at your number.
Sometimes it seems that students are just standing around doing nothing, and you'll see mentors doing work, and you'll see some senior students that have been on the team for a few years doing a lot of the work. We have a lot of students that are first year and second year that are just getting acclimated to the whole program. And it's the way I try to describe it, it's like a football team. You've got a third string quarterback that is sitting there like a sponge and absorbing it all. They don't seem to think that they are, but they are. So that when the seniors graduate, they will have to jump into their roles.
These are the standard pieces that come with the kit. Can anybody give any answer to this? What is this piece called?
Ooh, I know.
I'm gonna give you the count of 3, and then I'm gonna give it over to Adam.
It's my first year, but I mean, I'd say I definitely learned a lot and can do a lot for a first year coming on the team. I did a lot of just like, basic putting things together, unscrewing things, taking them apart, putting it back together, changing things.
No, that's stressful. Don't do that to me.
Well, everything about what we do is stressful.
Power distribution
PDP, panel distribution panel.
Panel distribution panel? You distribute
Power
panels?
distribution panel. That's what I said. That's what I meant to say, okay? I'm tired.
Okay. It was stressful at first learning to put the wires in because, me personally, I kept slipping with the screwdriver. And it was annoying.
Okay.
But
this is the kind of stuff that we got to keep going over and over and over and over again.
Yep. Yeah, I'm trying to learn electronics so that when Sean leaves.
They got this funny thing that seems to wander around the pits called judges.
FRC gets your mind going. It makes you think about weird things that you'll never think about before. Like you don't really think about it if you're not in robotics or anything, like how to pick up a ball just in general without something that's not you. Or just shoot a ball. And it makes you think outside the box, it just gets you more engaged than other stuff.
So now what I want you to do, take these wheels and use those red Andy Mark wheels because they're squishy. It might make the release of this easier. Shooter. Prototype. Shooter 1. 2. Shooter prototype 2.
I'm working on plates that are going to be screwed into these 2x1s, which we are using for our shooter.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we have that already. We just need one more 52 half-inch checks. Okay. We're good. Why don't you get the axles ready?
I'll do that.
You were the one I was talking to.
See? We're the same wavelength.
Joe, do you mind if I move all this stuff? This one controller there?
You could drive the robot in this area up to here and up to here.
But I set up the rulers over there.
These desks.
Anyway, put that in.
Spin in a circle.
You can just practice spinning in a circle. You notice there's a grain in here. One grain's going this way, and one grain's going this way. It does 2 things. First off, this is just practice board. The real stuff will be that clear plastic stuff that we use. It's really nice because what it does is it creates a grid. You could actually see the lines going this way and this way. So when you're trying to line up the electronics, it's like having graph paper. It's really nice.
My favorite part of the build season probably was being able to get really involved with something, to really make a big commitment, going down to the shop every night, doing a lot of work, and going home, coming back the next day.
Your setup, your practice, your qualifications, and then your finals in the last day. No. High five!
Yay!
Really, Rich?
What?
It's done in 3 days.
What's your point, Joe?
It's a prime robot.
Just to make it in spring.
In fact, let's see.
Go like this and make her hair stand up like she's on fire.
This is what I deal with.
Girls in engineering? Come on, we gotta get this,
A woman in engineering? What
Where's
is it?
Sam?
So this is corrugated Lexand, and we were just drilling holes in here because like it wasn't aligned properly. So we marked them, and then we just drilled them with a 3/16 drill bit, and then we're just putting it back together now.
What makes our team special, I think, is our family-like atmosphere. I mean, like, we have a very tightly knit build team, and it's because of that that we're all so close.
I got nothing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a boy.
You're like 25.
Just a boy. I'm young in spirit.
There's not very many of us, and we're all putting in insane amounts of hours, you know? Like, you can't help but become each other's best friends, and at the end of the season, you know, you've seen each other at their worst, but you've seen each other at your best. And I know that that's a characteristic of all teams, but especially since our team is so small, you know, we know each other. We know all of our guys personally. There's nobody that we don't know. Team 271 especially has, like, we all have a lot of pride in our work. We all take a lot of pride in making our work as excellent as we can, and we're all determined to make it as excellent as we can.